The concept of a liquid self haunts modernist writing. We find it in Conrad's rivers and Woolf's waves, and in the vast inner sea where J. Alfred Prufrock cavorts with mermaids. It is the world Prufrock is forced to measure out at civilized parties in coffee spoons. What intrigues modernist writers most about this realm is that in it, feelings, desires, thoughts, and beliefs interpenetrate, and thus elude the atomizing terms we normally use for them. Opposed to the fundamental self on its glassy surface, as it were, is what Bergson called the superficial self, that part of our being that operates in an automatic, predictable, distinguishable, and describable way. And the counterpart of the superficial self in this use of language is reflex speech. The tossing about of formulated phrases at cocktail parties, as Eliot says, the act of manipulating verbal counters as if on a chessboard, that's Hume and Pound, any kind of writing that involves an economy of effort or resembles reflex action in the body, as when we tie our boots. The French philosopher Rémy de Gourmand called this phenomenon ideo-emotive writing, the kind where words pass directement sans aucune intervention de la conscience et de la sensibilité. Orwell was clearly taken with the modernist vision of the liquid self, and especially with the idea of a language that hides it from ourselves and others, the language of reflex speech, as Bergson would call it. Orwell himself makes an important contribution to the literature on reflex speech by showing how its equivalent has come to dominate the political arena. When we encounter reflex speech in Orwell's work, it is often through some variation on the image of the quack speaker. The left book club speaker bowling imagines dreaming in slogans, the tired hack in politics and the English language who allows strings of prefabricated phrases to rush in and do his thinking for him. To encounter a reflex speaker, Orwell writes, is to have a curious feeling that one is not watching a live human being, but some kind of dummy. The appropriate noises are coming out of his larynx, but his brain is not involved, as it would be if he were choosing his words for himself. The quack speak of the political arena, in short, is everything sincere self-expression is not. But if Orwell's formulation of the problem of quack speak owes something to modernist poetics, so too does his proposed solution to this problem. In essence, this involves an intense effort to recover contact with the fluid self within. In a remarkable and little-known 1940 essay called New Words, where he appears to be paraphrasing Bergson and James, Orwell writes about sinking back into the stream of nameless things within us, into a disordered, unverbal world, unavailable to ordinary language. The thought of such a place may partly inspire his decision to figure George Bolling's flight from that speaker at the Left Book Club meeting as a journey back to the ponds and streams of his youth. It isn't just about fishing, in other words. Perhaps the most significant points about this realm are that it is prior to language, and that in it, intuitive insights manifest themselves first in images. In their accounts of the creative process, Hume and Pound describe concentrating on complexes of images that precede the writing and make it firm. Eliot said that we should reconnect our dissociated sensibilities, that we should reach inside ourselves to that place where feeling and sense data unite to make new wholes. Orwell wanted to make political writing into a new art, and this meant fusing political purpose and artistic purpose into a new whole. According to Orwell, the sincere writer starts by thinking wordlessly, this is in Politics in the English Language, visualizing concrete objects, or getting his meaning as clear as he can through pictures or sensations. For all four modernist writers I mentioned, including Orwell, the next step is transferring the physical to language. The writer ensures that each word is an image seen, not a counter. He presides over the birth of genuinely fresh analogies and metaphors, writing we can see. In this way, he's able to do without the storehouse of dead metaphors that would otherwise do his work for him. Hume once said memorably that a writer's sincerity is measured by the number of his images, and Orwell would agree. His own work is peppered with startling analogues that would be at home in imagist poetry. If time allowed, I would pursue the allusions to modernist poetics in the story of Winston Smith. Smith is the apotheosis of the rebellious writer figure in Orwell. His attraction to the coral paperweight and other concrete objects suggests a modernist poet's fascination with images, or luminous details, as Pound called them. It is of a piece with his furtive efforts to write stream-of-consciousness diary entries in defiance of quack-speak and newspeak. Other writers in Oceania have been successfully co-opted to write formulaic prose. Smith aspires to be a poet, writing from that place that formulas cannot touch. The implication of these and other references to modernist poetics in 1984 might be that there's a chance newspeak will be overturned, for newspeak controls thought so far as thought is dependent on words only. The Imagist Project flies below the radar of such a program by design. And if it is true, as Orwell and the poets concur, that images and analogies are the very essence of an intuitive language, that they have the power to generate moments of recognition from person to person because of some unmistakable common knowledge, then perhaps there is hope for more unspoken solidarity in this world than the party can monitor and control.